G'day everyone, Artist Wayne here to talk to you about the cars from the 2015 Australian post-apocalyptic action film Mad Max Fury Road. This Australian blockbuster was co-written, co-produced and directed by George Miller. Fourth instalment and a revisiting of the Mad Max films. Unbelievably, this film has come out 36 years after the film that started it all, Mad Max. For 2 decades, Mad Max was the most profitable film of all time, paving the way for the cult classic Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, which hit Aussie cinemas in 1981, making Max's Interceptor, or Pursuit Special, one of the most famous cinematic cars in the world. So let's take a look at the cars in Fury Road, starting and finishing with Max's mighty Interceptor, which, like its predecessors, is based on a 1974 Ford XP GT Coupe. And the vehicle is very similar in appearance to the Mad Max 2 car, although this car has only one fuel cylinder, not two, and is no longer bracketed, merely tied down with rope in the boot space. This car would only last moments in the beginning of the film before being destroyed, later returning to the screen once again as a modified off-road bare metal version called the Razor Cola. And what about the Gigahorse, driven by villain Immortan Joe? This beast is made of two 1959 Cadillac DeVilles, two V16 engines and 2 metre-high double-wide wheels. Oh, and it also has a whaler's harpoon and a flamethrower. The car, driven by Nux, where Max Rockatansky spends a good portion of the film acting as a blood bag, is a 1934 Chevy 5-window coupe, supercharged and nitrous boosted. And what about the truck driven by Immortan Joe's son, Rictus Erectus? Bigfoot. It's a 1940s Fargo workhorse truck, but this beast has 66-inch all-terrain tyres and heavy axles, which were taken from a military supertanker. Talking about supertankers, what about the War Rig, driven by Furiosa? A 78-foot, 18-wheeler monster. This Frankenstein monster of trucks is based on a Czechoslovakian Tatra, with a custom front end and a 1947 Chevrolet Fleetmaster sedan in the back. The War Rig has a long fuel tank and hauls a fuel pod trailer, and a Volkswagen Beetle and track cabin shells are welded to the hull. The Doof Wagon, aka Sonic Carmageddon, is a heavily modified Maz 543 Uragan, Soviet 8x8 artillery truck. This machine comes complete with the Doof Warrior on a fire-spitting guitar and its own taiko drummers in the back. And what about the People Eater's Limousine? It's a heavily modified American AM General M814 cargo truck with a Mercedes-Benz W123 limousine body. What about the Buzzard? This prickly beast is a modified 1937 Plymouth sedan with over 1,500 steel spikes. These things look like our Aussie echidnas. Elvis is a heavily modified hot rod style 1932 Ford 3-window coupe. And what about all the cars we only get a fleeting glimpse of, like the 1971 Dodge Charger? There are so many cars in this film, it's mind-blowing. So try and keep up. Or the Claw Car, a modified 1980 Ford F250. How about the Plowboy? This little beast is a 1962 Holden EK station wagon. There are also a few Valiant Charger bodies thrown into the mix, like the Peacemaker. This vehicle is a modified How and How Ripsaw EV1 extreme vehicle, but it's definitely not the only Valiant Charger. How about the super awesome Plymouth Barracuda? Or the world's meanest VW. Or an even meaner Mini. And just like Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior, we have a Mack R600 monster truck. and Ford F-100s, which also featured in Mad Max 2 The Road Warrior, are seen here in Fury Road, along with a C3 Corvette and a 1948 Buick. And how about one of my favourites, only because we owned one, a 1968 two-door Holden HK Monaro, Cranky Frank, a 1953 Holden FJ Ute, and a 1970s Holden HZ Ute, and what also appears to be a 1952 Australian Ford Ute, and a 1950 Jaguar Custom Convertible, which brings me back to Max Rockatansky's Pursuit Special, the Interceptor. And what happens to it after we see it destroyed? Almost unrecognisable now, it comes back as the Razor Cola. The iconic V8 Interceptor has now been stripped back to bare metal and equipped with twin superchargers. The Scott injector head is decorated with a skull and metal teeth. The vehicle has been lifted in the front and the back with a Ford F-100 9-inch diff. And the Concorde front end now has barbed wire headlight covers. And that, my friends, is the last we ever see of Mad Max's Interceptor. I'm artist Wayne Dowson, and thanks for watching, everyone.